I got a scholarship in computer engineering, but then I was certain that this was not what I wanted for myself. So I had to stop at that moment after I've had the training itself, which I paid for that I wanted. I had to stop to move in for my jam just to get my admission to the university because that was what I wanted at that point in time or at that level of my life. That was what I wanted. So that was what I did basically. Hello guys and welcome once again to my channel. It's still your girl Lilian. So today I'm going to be diving deep into that aspect of my life coaching, which is I want to talk about maximizing your singleness. Yes. Like maximizing being single. Okay? Being single at 24, 25, 26, 30. Maximizing your singleness. Most times I've realized that some ladies want to wait. Like I've counseled not less than 10, 15 young ladies on marriage issues. Most of them, once a lady is up to 20 years, I see this being hard on yourself to get married. 20, 22, 24, 26. Why is there so much heat on yourself on settling in? Especially when you find your friends, the people around you settling in. Once you find people around you getting married, you really feel upset. You feel bad about yourself. You feel as if something is wrong with you or you are way behind your peers. But actually, you are not. You were just single. Like, you are just single. What's the big deal about it? You're a complete human being. You're a complete woman with intellect, with brain. You know what the things you want to do for yourself. And if you know these things that you want to do for yourself, what makes you feel that you are not complete until you have a man? So, how do you maximize your singleness? Because this is the problem. Many black women don't actually know the place of maximizing their singleness because we crave being married, that we come into a position where we are not prepared, where we would not maximize our time. And there are things that by default being married could limit. Now, in as much as now time there's so many teachings and there are so many teachings and wrong philosophies that kind of break families these days. And they make you feel that when you get married, it's not going to limit you. You know, you're men, you're women, you're this. They've so much brainwashed us that we forget that these responsibilities are by default what comes with being married and having children. Like by default, your love for your kids could draw you back for something by default. But we've been made to believe that it's about the man, it's about the husband not doing well, or it's about the woman not doing well. By default, being married comes with the Lord. Now you're not just taking care of yourself, you're taking care of someone else. And if you don't love you, if you can't take care of you, how will you take care of somebody else? I was listening to a woman, a popular celebrity, and she said that one thing she considered that scattered her marriage, that made her marriage not to last actually with her husband, was at the end of the day, she sat back and she said that she was expecting too much from this man. Not just money, the care from him, everything from him. She was expecting way too much from the man. So, how do you get prepared for that time? Maximize your singleness. Learn the skill that you want to learn. That is number one thing I want to tell any single woman out there. Let me take myself for an instance to give to you. When I was single, actually, I knew that at that point in time, I wanted to build my relationship with God very seriously. Now, naturally, they don't tell you is that sometimes when you get married with responsibilities, some things could kind of want to shake you a little, shake your consistency, shake you from, from certain things, depending. Once, if you're married and you're having your kids immediately, some things about you might want to, may not be able to move as quickly as they should. But now, if you've built it over time from when you were single, it gives you a balance. So I wasn't actually thinking about being married while within my Christian life, but now that I'm married, I'm able to thank God that I've built my life, my work with God, even while I was single. It has been built that it's now a lifestyle for me. So it's not a stress. It's not a hard work. It's not a labor because I've built a life with it. I was in school at that time. I graduated, I had my degree. I did it at that point when I was single, and I've maximized and gotten it. I had my first IT training when I was just single after my high school. I've had that and it's safe. Now you can hear the voice of my baby in the background, right? That's what comes with being a mother. It comes with lots of responsibility. So sometimes you might not, things might not work out the way you plan it. Let's say for instance today, you're supposed to go to school. But like once it was time for school, they were in the uniforms and then the heavy rain just we had a heavy downpour here. Now I wouldn't want them to go to school after this kind of heavy rain and it was way late already. And now they're at home. I'm at home as well because they're at home and we have to make and I'm trying to make this content feeling that okay, yeah, they should be fine and playing together or having fun together. But you can observe that it comes with some things that will just keep hitting you here and there, here and there. So when you have this kind of thing hitting you there and there, you don't just wake up and start saying it's your husband's fault or it's your wife's fault. Come on. Being married by default has responsibilities. Being married by default has things that could hold you back even when you don't want to. Being married, you could wake up one morning and find that your child is sick. Like, seriously? Yes. And at that junction, it affects the things that you want to do. You might be amazed when your child wants to stay awake and just wants you, the mother, to carry him or her. The same way your child can want just the father to carry him or her. I've had situations where people will like, I don't want you to carry me. I'm looking for my father. And in those kind of scenarios, what do? You can't do anything. You have to stay with it. So being married by default has responsibilities. Being married by default has some changes that it will bring in your life. But the beautiful thing that makes to be able to come into that phase of being married and understand that it's not a place for burying your life, your dream, or your career, or the things that you know God is laying in your hands. It's because from the moment you were single, you were maximizing every point of the journey. So you maximize that time in building your walk with God, your spiritual life. Be intentional to build it. We've been deceived so much that that is the time you try out everything, get pregnant, have an abortion, do this one. We've been exposed to try out some things that are not worth it. Our society has brainwashed us that in that time of singleness, in that early phase of singleness, try out so many odds. There are few positivities that have been thrown at us. It's more like, okay, go to the club. Okay, why don't you go to this? Why don't you try out this? Why don't you try out this drink? Try out this hard drugs. Try out this. There's so many things that they keep throwing at us like, try this out, try this out, try this out. Full of negativity, it's full of things that if you continue in it, you could become addicted to these things. Our society is making us feel that these are the things worthy of us trying out at that early phase of life. But no, that junction where you are single is the time to maximize your singleness. Build your work with God. Beyond just going to church, have a life that is working with God. Number two is don't waste all your life from one sexual, erotic, or whatever relationship to another. Don't waste your life that way. It would keep pulling you in different directions. Now, so many young people have become trapped in this misconception. What they keep doing is you keep trying out from one man to another man, from one woman to another woman. I know of a guy, he just broke up with the lady today, and the following day he's like, hey, what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Can't you see that you're meant to fix your life together before you start thinking about another relationship? So some of us use our singleness to be jumping from one relationship to another until we meet different people, different character, cripple our mindset, cripple our joy, cripple our happiness because we are building and revolving our lives around different people. So the power that you have as an individual, you may never see. Because every day of your life, you've been using it to jump from one person to another to the point where you no longer own yourself. You can't even see the things God is directing you to. Like, yes, babe, you went to church today. Oh, yes. You went to church today, man, but you can barely see what God is taking you to anymore because you occupy with so many people in your life, and they are not just colleagues from work, they are not classmates, they are not classmates, they are not neighbors, they are not people in your neighborhood, they're not just your friends, but you keep having something to do with these people, whereby a part of them keep influencing who you are until you are lost. So before you recover, before you get yourself, and probably you now get married, you are not okay. And then in the midst of jumping from one person to another, you feel that God doesn't want to answer your prayer. I was talking to a friend, I was counseling her, and I said, girl, listen up. I know you feel you want to get married. Like you want to get married. She's 27. You want to get married. But from your story, I could tell you that it is not God that sent you disappointments. The reason for the disappointments is because you accept everything that comes your way. Suddenly, you've left the values, the things that you were supposed to use to weigh, you weren't using it anymore. So there is an open door for every kind of man to come in. But there was a kind of man you wanted when you there was a kind of man you've come to understand that you need as a child of God. There's a kind of man you've come to need as a person. Like some personalities that you're looking for, there's some traits that you're looking for in that person. But suddenly you're like, let's try everything out. So you keep feeling that disappointment is coming, this is coming, that is coming, because suddenly you threw away every pack of value, every life, everything that you held much more stronger. So while you are single, another beautiful way to maximize your singleness, another amazing way to maximize singleness is to save yourself emotional traumas, emotional disappointments, or failures by jumping from one relationship to another. The least you could do is to build yourself up, cultivate a relationship. If it didn't work, don't be quick to jump into another one. Hold on a little, like hold on, baby girl, hold on. Try to know why didn't this one work? Was it my fault or was it his fault? Where was I getting it right? Where did I miss it? Where did he miss it? Where did he get it right? You try to know what and what happened at that phase, so you can help to prevent it from happening in the future. But not to just come out of this relationship, get into this relationship, have sex with this person, open yourself to another spirit, open yourself to another manipulation, and at the end of the day, you lament on your single period, or you say that God disappoints you. The actual thing is, you've not realized that singleness is a phase, and it's also a beautiful phase for development. So, let me tell you a story. I have someone who worked with me, and I remember back then she she wasn't married yet. At the age of 26, she said she was ready for marriage. That looking at herself, what is your post problem? I had someone I worked with. She was 26 years old at that time, and then she was still single. And she said at that phase of her life, she was sure that she was ready for marriage. Like that, looking at herself, now she's ready. That before she used to say she's not ready, but now that she's very ready for marriage. I said, okay, oh yeah, now let's see. Let's trust God to bring the right partner for you. Let the right partner that will walk through this part of destiny with you come. And while I was having this conversation with her at that point, she was certain, right? But the man wasn't forthcoming. Now she got married at the age of 28, guys. Yes, at the age of 28. That was when she finally got married. Now, when I say she got married at 28, do you know that When she got married, she was way happier it came at that time than 26 because God has worked more on her life. It was in that phase that her relationship with God grew. She started her own business. She worked in her mother's office and then started her own business from there. Girl was not doing fine. Her Christian life was doing fine. Medically, she was now okay. So many things around her life were now fixed. And when she finally met this person and they got into a relationship and settled down, she was way happy because she now believes that thank God he even came at this phase of my life. I am much more prepared. That is maximizing your singleness. But some women are so exhausted because singleness is a beautiful phase and not an ugly phase. Now, the last secret I'm going to be sharing with you about maximizing your singleness is go for those dreams and see them come to light than standing in one place and waiting to be married to have it all figured out. Go to those dreams and keep bringing them to the limelight than standing in one position and waiting for the being married to come. I've seen some women that has worked for 10 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years of their lives and they seek nothing before marriage. Excuse me. They saved nothing. I said nothing, practically nothing before marriage. All they ever did was go to work, get a big house, um, what else? Get a big house or maybe a fancy car. That is if they can get one. Then change their wardrobes consistently and then maybe buy one or two for their parents. That is all they want. Sit down. So here is a take home today. Your singleness is a beautiful season. It's a season for growth. I'm telling you today because I'm now married. And I thank God for every process I went through during my singleness. Every skill I learned, my relationship and my work with God, the people I met at that phase of my life, the travels I did at that phase of my life, which now I may not be able to do all of them the way I want to do it because my children are still very tender. Maybe when they grow more, I can be able to travel as much as I want, but I can't do them now anymore. And finally, being able to define my place, knowing who I am. So when I got married, I was no longer in shades because I found out who this woman is. I just needed some patience to process that phase of being married because I got married and I took in that same month. So it was a surprise to every one of us. Like, oh, I got married. I took in that same month I got married. So, that 9 months, then lost the baby, then get in, and it wasn't easy actually. But the truth is, as much as I wasn't doing much, I knew who this woman was. I was sure of who this woman is. I was sure of where I was going to. I wasn't scared. I wasn't confused about it. I was sure of where my eyes is. And though I may have ups and downs, because life comes with ups and downs, though things may not be going the way I want them now, though I may not be seeing all the results now, but I'm here today talking to you with so much confidence because I know who this woman is. And the things I see now, challenges I see now, I might have few followers now. It's not drawing me back because I know where my eyes is. So I would love to in the comment section, who is this woman listening to me? Who is this woman watching this video? Who are you? Define yourself. Have you realized who you are? Are you single? Can you just type in the comment and say being single is not a curse? It's a blessed phase for me. When you define the seasons of your life, is what they become. Singleness is a blessed space. Maximize it, grow with it, and be the best woman you can ever be. Of course, the best gentleman you can ever be. God bless you. See you next time. Thank you. Bye for now. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the family. Bye.